Wendy Bill here, and this is going to be in the oddity files. What we have here is we have a drill hole. This is the first of 2 drill holes they did. You can see the size and the heaviness of this. This one went down about 2,000 feet. And what they were doing is they was taking core samples and looking at them to determine if there was a lot of pressure on the rock, because we are right on top of the San Andreas Fault. And I mean right on top of it. Well, they worked this one, got down pretty much to the limits of their funding and their equipment. And so they pulled everything out and closed the project down and sent everything off to universities to be studied. Well, then they decided they wanted to come back and go deeper. Well, this had set for about 5 years, and they needed to pump it out because it was full of drilling mud. So they hired my father-in-law, who worked for McDougall's drilling business, and they brought their rig in here, and they went ahead and took their drill bits down, reamed it out, followed the casing, and pumped all the mud out, got it cleaned up. But they determined that as good as it wasn't good enough to go back in for that heavy of a drilling set. The well casing was far too crooked to put your drill stills down there for this heavy. So the decision was made to move the location over to here. And this was the new site. So now you can see that this was the site for the new well. Father-in-law had nothing to do with it. They just came and put this one in. Very large drilling rig. Bigger than what you'd see on a normal oil well drilling platform. Now I'm going to go ahead, the gate's open, so I'm going to walk in. It's not posted. So they went ahead and they started drilling. Once they got below 2,000 feet, they went ahead and started shipping stuff off to different universities, laboratories, and colleges to be studied. They would take a core sample and then they would slice that core sample into quarters. One core sample would be sent off to put in the archives to study at some later date. The other 3 pieces would be shipped off to 3 different universities to be studied. And what they were looking for is extreme pressure on the rocks from being on the earthquake fault. Because the word is that if this earthquake fault is locked up, there would be extreme pressure on the rocks. Well, they couldn't find nothing. It showed extreme pressure. No matter what they took samples of and how they did it, they was never able to come up with anything. They went almost 10,000 feet down. They almost hit 2 miles, I understand, before their funding was stopped. You know, you've got a project, and if you're not telling them what they want to hear, all of a sudden you lose your funding. So the funding died on this project, and they closed it up, pulled the rig off, capped it. Of course, made sure it was filled full of drilling mud. That way, if anything would seep in from the bottom, like natural gas or petroleum product, water, anything down deep with high pressure, the mud is heavy and thick, and it prevents the gas from getting to the surface. So it's a safety precaution. So here's what's left. Maybe someday they'll come back in, clean it out, and drill some more and look some more. I don't know. It's hard to say. But this is one of the oddities that we have here in Cajon Pass, Interstate 15. And when I say it's right here in Cajon Pass on Interstate 15, there's the freeway right there. And it's going downhill to Highway 138. And if you want to find this location, that's the first set of railroad tracks, of train tracks, when you come up on the old highway. And if you're interested in finding it and looking at it, you're more than welcome. Go on Google Earth and do your research, and you'll be able to find it. But it's one of our oddities. Like and subscribe, and thank you for following. Have a great, blessed day.